It was cool too. I also believe that for you, this was around 2010. I think back then, regarding related rights, the rules were different, right? Which has been getting worse for musicians over the years, right? Dude, in the United States, they don't pay for related rights. Ah, they never paid. Never. Wow, in Brazil, they do pay. I thought, man, it was the time to fill up the piggy bank, right, Ricardo? No. It wasn't, no. The piggy bank stayed empty.
Wow, dude, it must have 10 million copies. Wow, Ricardo, you made a lot of money. I didn't earn anything, man. Dude, like, if it were 10 million copies, I think there were almost 10 million musicians on the album. I know she put a photo of each one. So when you open the booklet, it has everyone who participated there, just for guitarists. Besides me, there was Gilad, Rexelman, Lionel Lueck, the, the late Jeff Lee John. Then the drummers were John Blackwell, who was Prince's drummer, and he has passed away. Also, the Jack DeJohnette, the legendary and celebrated jazz musicians, Lyndon Rochelle, Justin Brown, and several musicians. There were saxophonists, brass players, percussionists, a whole bunch of people, vocals. There's Lela Hathaway, there's Gretchen Parlato. A lot of people participated in this album. It turned out to be a great album. And this album, man, nobody knows this. I'm going to tell you here. The album was re-recorded. It was the second time she recorded this entire album, all the same songs the first time. And then later we went back to the studio and recorded everything again.
Why did she want to do that?
I don't know. Obviously because she maybe wasn't sweating like I imagined, right? But the whole album was re-recorded with other musicians. I was one of the only ones that it was just me, and Leo left because we were already part of the band.
But she re-recorded the whole album. You didn't get to hear the first recording at all to compare, right? You didn't even get to...
My friend, since I lived with her, I was very close to her. I had this album and I loved it because the first one, the guitar was just so hot. Hot. Yeah, I loved the first album. But you know what happened, man? There was a tragedy that happened in my life, which was that my apartment in New York, I wasn't living with Esperanza anymore at that time. This was more recent. My apartment in New York was robbed. They broke in on a Saturday night, robbers. They came into my apartment and cleaned me out like that. And then they stole both laptops I had and the hard drives that had backups. And I lost a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff like that. A lot of music, a lot of photos, videos, recordings. An entire book that I had written in the end and everything. A book of music. I lost a lot of things. Among them, this CD. And I don't think she has it anymore. I don't think anyone else has it anymore.
I think I was just the guy in the studio there.
So yeah, there was this tragedy in my life where I used to love listening to that unreleased album, and I don't have that privilege anymore.
Did they take the instrument too?
They took 3 guitars, man. My guitar that I played in the band. You never recovered anything, and they only robbed your apartment. 4 apartments around there. That's a shame, man. It happens today. I have dear friends who lost everything in the fires over there in Los Angeles. Now, so far I have friends here that I keep in touch with. I've already sent help to some of them. I have 4 friends that I know who lost everything. The joy in the fire. And then it comes to my mind, I think, well, I don't have the right to complain, to think that what happened to me was so unfair, because really this struggle that these people are going through right now, my friend, it was really tough.
Yeah, I followed it a bit, obviously from a distance. But I didn't know anyone. I have friends there, but no one lived in the affected area.
One of them is the girl who played with us in the Banda da Esperanza, which is Haley Niswager, like the saxophonist who indeed also studied at BECK. She lost everything, her and her husband. John Clayton, who is also Diana Krall's bassist. His house and his daughter's house, which are not even close, but both of them indeed. So, indeed, there's a significant amount of commotion on social media to help these folks. Vince Mendonça too, the arranger, his house,
Lost all.
lost everything, man. The fires were very serious. I even thought it was going to be canceled because of the fires, but it seems like it's still happening back there.
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they're tragedies, right?
Did you lose any good, or perhaps even more valuable instruments you had?
Man, I did lose some. The 3 guitars, they were a Godian, right? I was endorsed by Godin, and a guitar that I absolutely loved. The Godin Montreal Premier was indeed the model name. And, well, you know, that was truly it, man. For us to move past this chapter of tragedies, right?
But man, you really stayed with Esperanza for 13 years.
Yeah, I think in total, like actually counting the time with BECK too when we were playing traditionally, but it wasn't yet, right? But counting that time, yeah, 12 years.
12-day years. About 10 years on the road, more or less. Were they uninterrupted? Like,
No, there were periods of, they weren't 10 continuous years like that. There were periods of, until the change, for example. At first, it was just the quartet. For years, we traveled with 4 young musicians on stage. When she recorded the Radio Music Society, in the meantime, this Chamber Music Society album, even though I recorded it, I didn't participate in the tours. She traveled over with a string quartet, and on that tour, my ex-wife participated. So first we said that my ex-wife stayed home while Esperanza was on tour. Then it was the opposite. I stayed home. Not necessarily because I was doing other tours, but there was a time when she was in the band and I wasn't, you know. And then it was the Radio Music Society. So I went back to the band. And at that time, we were 17 people on the road. Such. There were 5 people on the team and 12 musicians on stage. Blow, blow. Yeah, a lot of brass and the kitchen.
so what was it? 4 or 5 brass instruments.
Yeah, I think that was it. See you later, I guess. Wow, no, Peter, I think brass instruments.
And which one? If you could name, man, 5 concerts, 3, 4, 5, that were significant for you somewhere in the world. And why do you think it marked you so much? What would those be? I think one obviously was playing there at Obama, right? David, Letterman, obviously, add 3 more. There, great moments there.
Rock in Rio, right, man? Rock in Rio was amazing. Esperanza and Milton. And Sunset Parlor 2011. I entered Brazil like a soccer player, man. They grabbed us at the airplane door. We did customs inside the car like that.
Wow.
A person from the federal police.
Wow.
Yeah, I got in. It was really cool. Rock in Rio was amazing. We played at Pori Jazz in Finland. And at that show, Santana was right next to the stage. He couldn't take his eyes off my guitar. How's the guy not going to get nervous, right, man? And which one else? I don't know. There were so many.
Ah, there's indeed a special one you played. Who was sitting in the front row with his legs up was Jeff Beck, right?
That was with Elian.
Ah, was with Elian.
That was at Ron Scott's in London. Jeff Beck sitting at the table right in front of the stage with his foot on the stage.
And he showed up. Did you guys talk afterwards?
We talked. He came to the dressing room. We chatted a lot. I told him, I said, Mr. Beck, are you wearing long sleeves? I thought you didn't wear long sleeves, right? Because he's always got his arms out like that. He laughed like we talked. Also in that backstage was the legendary drummer, Peter Erskine. He was also in the audience too. So there was a famous hang there. Mark John Elian, but Peter is American, right? But I think he was on tour there. I don't know if he was going to play at the same club the next day. And he's very good friends with Elian and Mark. I see. So he was there too.
But did Jack Beck say anything about your playing? Anything?
He commented, but I don't remember exactly. No, he commented. He praised it like that.
No, wait a minute, man. Jeff Beck, he's here. Jeff Beck, could you say that again? What did you think of my playing there? Should I film a little bit here?
Yeah. Back then, my phone was one of those.
It can be anyone, just the audio here.
There was even a camera, but it wasn't. I didn't have a camcorder yet, no.
Cool, man. So let's wrap up the Esperanza topic. Was there anything else?
Dude, there were several, right? I don't know. We can wrap it up for now.
Did you go through tough times?
The hardships were mine.
But you talk about a hardship. Well, then you say, man, this was a hardship. Tough.
Dude, I don't know.
Did you have that tough time that I don't know if it was with her?
No. The one I told you about?
No, right. Yeah, I'm going to fix it. There will be moments, tough times here. So we can wrap up this phase then of the, yeah.
Yeah, let's wrap it up for now. Like if during the conversation.
Okay, cool.